Bands of Florence are lashing the coast of the Carolinas.
The dangers now: high winds, rain, flooding, and storm surge.
And listen, you can hear the strong wind on Ocracoke Island in North Carolina. There it is. Water's already rising, and it is still early.
And there is wind, rain, and trees swaying in the town of Morehead City.
Now let's take a live look. The winds have really picked up in the last hour. This flag had no rifts in it earlier today, and now it is in nearly 2 pieces.
Kimberly Eaton is following the concerns about flooding in our region, but let's start with meteorologist Tim Williams tracking Hurricane Florence. Tim.
Well, this storm is definitely a monster storm. It has been downgraded in number, in intensity. It's now a Category 2 storm, but that does not lessen the impact of this storm. It's still very wide and going to be very slow moving, so those impacts will be over a prolonged period of time. Currently, our radar now starting to pick it up right off the Carolina coastline, placing it just around 110 miles to the east-southeast of Wilmington, North Carolina, which places it just around 165 miles east of Myrtle Beach. So this storm already very wide, and we're already starting to see some of those bands, the outer bands, up into the mid-Atlantic. We're starting to see some of that impact here in Maryland. So let's talk about the impact of this system. Right now we're looking at a northwest movement at 10 miles per hour, 105 mile per hour sustained winds. So again, a Category 2 storm. Storm still expected to stay pretty much on a westerly path, making a sweeping turn that will take it up to our west and eventually up toward the Great Lakes. We'll start to see some of those impacts going into the beginning of next week. But as we're looking at this system, all of the models still are in very solid agreement that it's going to make a landfall here in the next, say, 12 to 15 hours or so down around the Carolina coastline. Now, we've been talking about how the impacts have been affecting us here over the next several days or so. Right now, what we have here is a coastal flood advisory for the southeast portion of Harford County here. We have a coastal flood watch for areas from Baltimore County right on down into southern Maryland. And then when you get to the mouth of the bay, the lower Chesapeake Bay, we do have a coastal flood warning in effect. Very small storm surge, but it will be because the storm is so close that it will push some water into the lower Chesapeake Bay. We could be talking about maybe 2 to 4 foot above normal tide levels, and that will be through about Sunday into Monday. So we are starting to see the impacts, even though we're not getting a direct hit. We'll continue to monitor this system through the rest of the weekend. Mary, over to you.
Tim, thank you. In the Carolinas, winds are already up to 105 miles an hour. Courtney Zabowski reports for WJZ from Wilmington with the situation there now.
Bands of rain are whipping the Carolinas as Hurricane Florence approaches. Aside from the daredevils in the water, these coastal communities have cleared out.
I heard it was going to be the storm of a lifetime.
In North Carolina, Marcy Akers arrived at this inland shelter after hearing the warnings.
The cops told me I needed to evacuate.
What did they say?
They said that it was going to be a bad storm for trailers.
The winds have weakened, but forecasters are predicting storm surges up to 12 feet and days of drenching rain.
We're still forecasting 20 to 30 inches, possibly 40 inches or more.
We're in Wilmington, North Carolina. Less than a mile away, Wrightsville Beach is right in the bullseye. And even here, residents feel the danger. John Bruschetta says he's never seen waves breaking so close.
You can see the spray even without binoculars or anything. The water's pretty high.
What does that say to you?
Not too much longer of a time, we're going to have those waves will be breaking here.
The view from space shows the massive storm hovering offshore. It's due to hit land early Friday and linger through Saturday. With just hours to go, evacuations are still underway.
We are asking citizens to please heed a warning. Your time is running out.
Emergency officials say floods are likely and power will go out for days, if not weeks. Courtney Zabowski, CBS News, Wilmington, North Carolina.